أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. So today's session, inshallah, we're starting now. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَالْمُخْلَصِينَ فِي تَوْحِيدِ اللَّهِ. Mukhlas is the first word that we want to discuss. Mukhlas. It comes from the root word khalasa. Now, if we look at, first of all, the word mukhlis. Mukhlis is the ism fa'il, the doer of an action. From the infinitive ikhlas, which comes from khalasa. Khalasa itself means to purify something from all manner of impurity. So a mukhlis is the one who purifies something. And therefore, mukhlas, which is ism maf'ul, is the one who has been purified from all manner of dirt, pollution, and impurity. Tawheed comes from wahada, to mean oneness. So Tawheed means to make something into one, or to believe something is one. So here we are saying, peace be upon you, O Imams of Ahlulbayt, you who are completely purified in the Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first of all, we discuss Tawheed. What is Tawheed? Well, simply put, the most important belief of mankind, of Islam, of all religions, of all the Anbiya's teachings and preachings is Tawheed. It is the most important belief. And therefore, if you refer to, for example, 931, you will see there that it has been singled out as the most important of all the teachings of all the prophets. It has also been described as the highest word or belief or slogan of a believer. Similarly, there is no worse belief and no worse pollution than the pollution of shirk, or joining with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making partners with Allah, making equals to Allah. So for example, if you refer to 22:30, you'll see the verse regarding that. As Tawheed has been described as the strongest of all structures, shirk has been described as the weakest of all structures, just like the web of a spider, 29:41. So the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he started with this belief, he propagated this belief, just like all the other prophets throughout history. Their main task was to make sure people believe only in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a Lord and a God, and worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Tawheed itself has many stages and degrees. Not everyone is the same in their understanding and practice of Tawheed. Many people at some point or the other have distorted or impure Tawheed. Many people at some point or the other in their life, they have a distorted or impure level of Tawheed, either in their belief or in their practice. However, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt are at a level of Tawheed which has absolutely no distortion or impurity. In other words, they have pure and perfect Tawheed, and hence we are saying in this Ziyarat that they are mukhlas, completely purified from all manner of distortion and impurity in all of the levels of Tawheed by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here we refer to the famous hadith of Mawla al-Muwahhideen, the master of all those who believe in Tawheed, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, where he says, Ma ra'aytu Allah illa ra'aytu, Ma ra'aytu shay'an. I have not seen or come across anything, illa ra'aytu Allah, except that I saw Allah, qablahu wa ba'dahu wa ma'ahu, before it, after it, and with it. In other words, at all stages of my life, in all the things that I do, I've not seen anything, I've not experienced anything, I've not done anything, I've not thought about anything, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is at the forefront of it, the end of it, and throughout with it as well. So the highest level of Tawheed is that which has been achieved by A'imma alayhimus salam. Even there is a level above that which is unattainable by any creature, and it is only within the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the utmost level where Allah knows himself. He is limitless. He is basically beyond our grasp to fully understand him and understand him properly. That level of Tawheed, even Aimah alayhi salam don't have, only Allah has that level of understanding about himself. So for example, we have one of the famous du'as of Ahlulbayt, where they say, for example, Ma arafnaka haqqa ma'rifatik. We have not understood you as it is your due and your right to be understood. We have not understood you properly. Even with all that Amirul Mu'mineen's understanding of Tawheed, even with all those du'as of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, still at the end of the day, they turn and they say, Khudaya, we have not even understood you as you should be understood. Similarly, we have another narration which says, Allah the Most High, just as He is hidden from people's sights and we can't see Him, in the same way He is hidden from their intellects and their thoughts. The inhabitants of the higher realms are like you in that they are also looking for Him. Subhanallah. Very beautiful hadith. Here, let us slightly change the source material, and we look at something that Ayatollah Zia Abadi has written now. Aghay Zia Abadi, he writes regarding tasbihate arba, that how important is it to recite this tasbih, this subhanallahi walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, this tasbihate arba that we typically recite in our third and fourth rakats of namaz. He says it's very important that people recite this and think about it. So he's provided some very nice insights about how we can understand this phrase. So for example, he says Subhanallah. When we say Subhanallah, what are we saying? In English, we very lazily kind of translate it as glory be to God. However, what Subhanallah actually is saying is that we are declaring, when we say Subhanallah, Allah's utmost purity and freedom from every kind of imperfection. And we declare by saying Subhanallah our belief that only Allah is total perfection. Only Allah is total perfection. Then we say Alhamdulillah. Here we are saying that any creation, any creature having any kind of good quality, some people are kind, some people are patient, some people are forbearing, some people are generous, some people are forgiving. All these are good qualities. However, any creature that has any kind of good quality, where has that quality come from? Is it from themselves? Have they self-generated this? Any kind of amazing attribute, any kind of perfection is from Him. He is always the source. It has been taken from Him. It was given by Him, is due to Him and His grace. Hence, the appreciation and thanks and praise that we do for anything is truly actually for Him. Even if you say, oh, what a beautiful sunset, what a beautiful tree, what a nice flower, anything like that, although it may not be in our minds, in reality, in truth, this is actually praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because only He has given this to us. This hasn't come about by itself. He is the source, and He is where it has taken its beauty and its strength and its any kind of good quality has been taken from Him. Then La ilaha illallah. Here we declare that nothing is independently existing, and that existence, wujud, is not part of anything's essence except Him. In other words, today, I am here. If I had not been here, what would have happened? Nothing would have happened. The world would have continued to go along. If you were not there, what would have happened? Nothing would have happened. The world would still be here. Everything would still be here. It would have not made any difference. If the tree in the garden was not there, so what? Nothing really would have happened. Everything has its existence from Him. Where does He have His existence from? From Himself. It's His own essential quality and attribute. It cannot be taken away from Him. Otherwise, the rest of the universe, you can take that thing away. It's not part of their essential attributes. And then finally, we declare Allahu Akbar. Here, what we are saying is that despite knowing all of this, despite some people going deeply into Tawheed and trying to understand God, despite all that has been written about Him, despite all of these efforts and all of these great people, all of these muwahideen which have come, still we are unable to fathom Him properly. He is still Akbar and greater than being put into any category or pigeonhole or limitation or understanding or fitting into anyone's mind. It is still impossible. As Imam Zain al-Abidin says, لَمْ تَجْعَلْ لِلْخَلْقِ تَرِيكًا إِلَى مَعْرِفَتِكَ إِلَّا بِالْعَجْزِ عَنْ مَعْرِفَتِكَ. Only our Imams could say such a thing. He says, you have not made any way for your creatures to recognize you except that they have to admit defeat in properly recognizing you. In other words, the best that they can do to know you is to admit that you cannot be known. The best that they can do to know you is to admit that you cannot be known. So here we come to the end of this session, inshallah. So that was our discussion on this great line of Ziyarat Jamia, al-mukhlisina fi tawheedillah, wal-mukhlasina fi tawheedillah. And either next week we will continue the same line with some more points, or then we'll move on to the next line, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.